Hi, this is Doug from Dynamic Computing, and welcome to episode 47 of 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. This week I'm reviewing the brand new game Black Dawn Rebirth from Double Sided Games. Double Sided Games has published other really great titles like L'Abbé de Mort, Vegetables Deluxe, and Realms of Quest V for the VIC-20. Now apparently, Black Dawn Rebirth is the 7th in a continuing series of games for the Amiga, but to be perfectly honest, it is the first one that I've ever heard of or played. The game was written and designed by Shaun Watters. The graphics, both the box art graphics, which you see here, and the graphics in the game were designed by the incredible Ten Shu. The audio, the beautiful sound effects, and the music that you can hear playing right now in this introduction were done by Mike Richmond of Vegetables Deluxe fame. The game was play-tested by Olivier Cappelaere, Nicolas Robillard, and some guy with a boring American-sounding name, Douglas Compton. Double Sided Games itself is run by Jérémie Marsin. Now, Black Dawn Rebirth is a dungeon crawler in the same vein as Dungeon Master and Black Crypt from back in the 80s for our Amigas. If you're expecting a Doom-like first-person shooter, don't bother, that's not what this is. But if you like the dungeon crawler genre, this is a great game. It's designed to be run on any Amiga with 1 megabyte of chip RAM. I tried it on my Amiga 1000, didn't work, but I play tested it on my Amiga 500, on my Amiga 2000, my A4000, and my A1200, and it works beautifully on all of them. OCS, ECS, or AGA, doesn't care at all, but it is an OCS, ECS game. The game comes on 6 discs, or as 6 ADF files if you order the digital-only version. Thankfully, it's hard drive installable, and the hard drive installer actually works pretty well. It's really not bad at all. I've tested running it directly from Workbench, mounting each ADF file with the image mount program, and that works great. I've tested it installing from the hard drive, which is how I normally play it, and I've also tested it by creating actual floppies and playing from floppy. Now, it does do one interesting thing when you play it from floppy. I booted up my Amiga 4000 here from floppy, and when you go to switch disks when it asks you to, it makes a funny noise. It's like it puts the floppy drive into overdrive. Let me show you real quick. So as soon as it asks for disk 2, see if you can hear that. The floppy drive goes into this crazy mode like it's searching for the disk in a non-standard way. You put the next disk in and it works fine. It doesn't seem to be hurting anything, but it's a strange way to actually do it. There's also an included disc with an introductory animation, but I'm going to save that for you guys to experience on your own. It will be available in early December from doublesidedgames.com. We'll put their link down here again, at a price of $59.95 Canadian for the boxed version and around $12 for the digital download. Let me read you the intro to set the tone of the game. Stardate 2621, Star System, Thalix Planet, Thalix 9. The TFS Sentinel is en route to base DS97 to investigate a communications blackout. Ensign Bren is dispatched to investigate the base. Bren takes his scout ship into orbit around the planet, a routine mission. Planetfall is uneventful. From the outside, the base seems operational and undamaged, yet something does not feel right. Bren dons his life support system and depressurizes the cockpit. The canopy whirs, revealing a thin and clear atmosphere. The entrance yields to the ensign's authorization code. As he descends into the lower level, a bad feeling creeps upon him. But for now, let's take a closer look at the game itself. Now let's take a look at the game itself. The graphics are quite nice. Gameplay uses the mouse and the keyboard. Movement is the with the WASD keys and the Q and E to look left and right. The mouse is used to select items, attack, and manipulate your inventory. Right-click the mouse on the bottom third of the machine and your inventory opens up. You can reload weapons, use healing items, and put on your armor from this screen. There are some graphics settings that can be changed. On the inventory screen, there's a picture of a square with a left-pointing arrow. Click on this, on or off, and it changes how you turn, whether it is a smooth turn or a quick and instant turn. On all my machines, I have a bit of graphics tearing on smooth turn. Even on my 68060 I see these graphics effects. You can see the difference here when I turn it off. It looks a bit better if you ask me. Turning on the 3D movement effect lets extra frames be drawn when you move, making it appear smoother. Take a look. This is too slow on non-accelerated Amigas, but on a 68030 or better it will work okay with 3D on, and it looks pretty good. Here you can change the HUD colors to blue, purple, or green. Next, we can adjust the brightness from lightest at level 1 to darkest at level 3. See how I'm changing those, and it changes the overall brightness of the dungeons. You can have up to 3 save slots. It fills in the name with the current system date, which will probably be totally wrong on 90% of our Amigas. You can also hit the F10 key to end the game and go back to the start screen. Let's look at some gameplay and combat. Here I'm about to face a giant glowing radioactive zombie, as one tends to do. I have a nice gun called a pew pew and a short sword. Don't ask how he gets through the doors. I guess they ran out of frames for a crouching animation. I shoot from a distance and slash while close up by clicking the gun or sword icons. The message window on the bottom left shows my damage that I give and what damage glowing radioactive zombie does to me. Beasties don't drop loot, but often protect these lockers that have loot like guns, armor, ammo, or health, or in this case, a security key to unlock a door. You need to keep track of where you are on graph paper if you want a real map. You will eventually find a motion tracker, like I'm finding here, that will tell you where beasties are hiding. Each of these devices is put in the upper left 4 spots, and you click the button above them to start them. They use energy, which is replenished with a hypodermic needle, which is odd. You can see how these beasties appear on my radar now. Next, you see I find the auto map, which helps with your mapping on graph paper. See how your location appears in the little map in the right corner? It does not create a big map, but helps figure out where you are. There are other goodies you will find later that I will not spoil. This is obviously in the same class as Dungeon Master and Black Crypt. All are beautiful in their own way, and you can see the similarities between the 3 games. If you enjoy this type of game like I do, you might enjoy the sci-fi Black Dawn Rebirth. Well, okay. Now you've seen a little bit about the game itself. Let's talk about how I feel about it. What did I love about this game? Well, there's actually a lot to love. The graphics look pretty good, really not too bad at all. You saw in the comparison between this game and Dungeon Master and Black Crypt. You know, they're similar in vein in their quality. I think it could have been improved a little bit by going with 64 color extra half bright graphics like Black Crypt did. That would have made a difference. Turning the turning animations off gets rid of that funny graphics glitching when you turn your guy to look around. I wish they would have corrected that in the game, but turning it off doesn't hurt anything. The 3D effect works pretty good. I tested on my 040 machines and my 060 machines, and it worked perfect, but I think it'll be fine on an 030 machine too, or maybe even a really fast 020. Enemies look good in the game. They have the simple 2 or 3 frame animations that we were used to on Dungeon Master and Black Crypt, but this isn't a 2019 Amiga game, and it would have been kind of cool if the enemies were even more creatively animated, maybe with several more frames of actual animation. Now music, the awesome music by Mike Richmond, incredible music, only plays on the splash screen. Once you're in the game, you're limited to, a little bit of your sounds of moving around, the couple of sounds of combat and enemy screaming. Now, in Dungeon Master in 1987, I distinctly remember hearing enemies from 6, 7, 8 tiles away. You'd hear their squeals. Each one of them had a very unique sound. You knew something was coming around the corner. You knew something was around the bend. And it used stereo very creatively, so you even kind of knew what direction it was coming from. And it freaked me out. And I think this game could have used better ambient sounds too. But the sounds it does have are all high quality. An option to have music playing during the gameplay really is needed. Again, it's 2019. A lot of us have a more powerful Amiga than a 1 meg Amiga. I respect the decision to go with the lower common denominator for your Amiga, but give us an option if we've got fast RAM or 2 megs of chip RAM to have one of these awesome tunes playing during the game. It would have added some ambiance to it. Gameplay is fine. Your control of your character is fine. The inventory screen, that's actually kind of cool. It works pretty well. But again, this is an Amiga. Having more than 2 frames of animation for things like the electrical fields and things like that, perfectly doable, and it would have added some extra oomph to the game. Now we get to the story. Yes, the story, and I know that there's a story in here someplace. There's a story of what's happened at this base. But at least during the first 5 levels, you don't get any kind of story whatsoever. You see the zombies, you see these glowing radioactive zombies, but why? What give us a hint why they're there. Give us a clue, some breadcrumbs to follow, some logs that appear on computer screens, some logs from staff members about experiments gone crazy as we go through the levels, so we have a purpose to go through the level, so we know what we're looking for. And none of that was there. There just was not a lot of story element in it, at least in the first, say, half of the game. There can also be a lot of aimlessly wandering around the levels too, without much going on. For example, there's a situation where you have to find certain key cards to open the doors. You actually do that quite a lot. And in this one area, you open one door with a key card and there's a secret button. And then that opens up a second area that you go find a second key card to open up and, press a secret button to get to a next area. The thing is, who knows where these secret areas are? They're not right in the same room as you. They don't appear to be nearby. There's no clues that give away maybe there's something behind this wall. So you just kind of have to walk around and go, where's this next secret area? And hopefully you'll stumble across it. We need to have things that are just more tight and more tightly organized, pointing us in the direction we need to go. Not giving it away, but pointing us in the direction. That would have been a dramatic improvement. Next, let's talk about the physical version, because I need to talk about it. It's $60 Canadian online. That's the same price as a brand new PS4 game, a brand new Xbox game. But this is an Amiga. Okay, guys, this is an Amiga. We don't have $60 games. Now, I'm happy to pay $30 or sometimes even $40 for a physical copy. It includes a cool map, includes, a funky coin, includes some kind of little tchotchke in there to give us a reason to order it. But when it comes with just 6 discs and a manual, $60 maybe is a little bit high. Now the $12 price point for the digital version, that is right on target. 10, 12, $15 for a digital game. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's absolutely perfect. So I recommend you try the free demo that's available right on Double Sided Games website. You've got the first level of the game you can play for free. I recommend buying the digital download the day it's released. You're not going to regret it for $12. I recommend you think about it before you get the physical copy and make sure you really, really want that for $60. This is a worthwhile game for our platform with room for improvement. But luckily, it's easy just to release new ADF files to patch things. So hopefully they'll take it to heart and they'll update it a little bit for us. Thanks for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at 10mark1. But until next time, this is Doug from 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, signing out to go find what secret door I opened up when I got the key card.